Everybody thinks your events have to be big. They have to be 300, 400, 250, 150. Some of the best events are 40 people.
Going to the game with just 2 people is an event. On Sunday, I'm taking a couple to the game, and they're going to post it on social media. I'm going to post every Sunday. If you get on my personal Facebook page, you'll see another game, another great client.
Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everyone, to another amazing episode of Referrals Podcast. We are so glad you are here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. Number 42 in the United States on iTunes in the marketing podcast. Are you kidding me? How is that happening? Like, we need to change the title of this to like referral marketing or relationship marketing or experiential marketing or event marketing or something, because like we don't even have marketing in the name, and you guys have made us number 42 in the entire country, which is mind-boggling. And yet it also reinforces what I've known about this community so long. The generosity generation is it. Like, you guys are it. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate you for spreading the word, sharing Referrals Podcast. I see it all the time in the Facebook groups. People say, what podcast should I listen to? And you know what? Referrals Podcast comes up, and it always warms my heart, and it makes me like it motivates me so much to continue doing these, because otherwise it's like, am I giving any value? And all I want to do is make sure that we're giving value to you. And I really, really appreciate that. Give us some feedback. I'd love it. Join GenGen. Go to joingengen.com. Check us out. Tell us what you think of the podcast. We'd love to hear from you. And I appreciate you. Which leads us to today's, and how do I know it's amazing? And it kind of relates to a story. And and I wouldn't even call it a story. I'd call it more of a parable. And it's the parable of the stonecutter. And today we're going to share that with you. Actually, Aaron's going to share that with you. And it might change your mindset forever. And I can't wait to get to that today. Before we do that, though, I want to give a quick shout out to Dave DeBryan. I just found out that he wrote 990 handwritten notes last year, and he has set a new goal of 1,500 in November. 1,500. He's going to write, what is that, 50 a day? He's going to write 50 a day. And that, I will tell you, some of you are like, oh my God, I can't even write one note a day. And here's the thing. The only real month that Dave writes handwritten notes is November. And he makes up for it for the rest of the year. You have a chance to make up for it. For all the other months you haven't written handwritten notes, you can write them in November. Each day, I'm going to give you not 1, not 2, but 3 prompts. We have an agent track that we're going to do this year, first time ever. So it's for real estate agents only. And we have a track that's for everyone else. Or if you're a realtor, guess what? You can do them both. You can actually do all 3 of the ones that we're doing this year. And here's the thing that I will tell you. How many handwritten notes could you write in one day? If your business had to have it, if you really needed a listing, if you really needed another client, if you really needed a customer, how many handwritten notes would you write to get a new customer? And here's what I've discovered. It's about your energy and how many you can write. And I've discovered that there are people who do 30 a day during the November. And it's like, how can they do that when there's others that struggle to get even 1 or 2 done during the month? And guess what? If you struggle to get 1 or 2 done during the month, you're probably going to struggle in everything else. How you do anything is how you do everything. So here's what I'm going to just tell you is show up for November. Just show up for November. Let's crank this out. Go to november.com, check it out. And if you want to, you can check out Referral Mastery Academy while you're there as well. But check out November, check out Referral Mastery Academy. If you want the whole smorgasbord, go to Referral Mastery Academy. But at least check out november.com. We'd love to have you in the 30-day challenge. You're going to get business in December. You're going to get business in January. And November is the place to do it. Now, speaking of putting your writing in your appreciation in writing and November and things like that, we have someone that we definitely appreciate who is here with us today. Aaron Hendon is an award-winning Seattle realtor, best-selling real estate author, education, and international speaker. He is managing broker of Christine and Company, a Seattle Magazine awarded 5-star real estate agent, winning team for the past 8 years. Aaron also co-hosts the Agency for Agents podcast with Christine Andreasen, in which they share their expertise as real estate team leaders to expand your business, grow your future wealth, and live a life you love. Born in New York, Aaron graduated SUNY Purchase with a BFA in 1997. Discovering his fine art degree made him eligible to work in the food service industry anywhere in the country. I'll let that wash over you. He worked as a waiter and baker in Albuquerque, New Mexico. After winning blue ribbons in the New Mexico State Fair for his breads, he opened his own bakery, Fred's Bread and Bagel, which he sold 9 years later as a business grossing over $1 million annually. This guy made bread and made bread making bread. I want you just to think about that for a second. Landing in Northwest in 2000, he now lives on a small island off the coast of Seattle with his brilliant wife, Kale, his 2 brilliant children, Leela and Jonah, and his adoring, if not exactly brilliant, golden doodle, Rosie. Without further ado, let's welcome my friend, Aaron Hendon. Aaron, welcome.
Michael, thank you so much. I know I said this before, but I'm such a big fan for so long. So I'm just delighted to be able to be here with you and to contribute everything I got to, your audience. So,
well,
thanks.
I appreciate that. And I love having intelligent conversations with people about, at the successful level. And like just right now, I think conversations, especially in the real estate world, are so critical because there are so many conflicting and honestly, like controversial stories that are floating around in the business. And I definitely want to cover that later on. But right off the bat, I want you to share an event that you did, right? This is really something that got me kind of back in touch with you and thinking about, oh my God, we need to share that. So tell us about your recent event that you did for your 40 top clients.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Events are sort of where I shine. I love events. I love getting a lot of people, right? Big bang for the buck. And I've been doing it. I have a ton of different things that we've done that are just great. We talk about a lot. I'll start with this one, but then if we got other questions about the other events. And so the beauty of events is you get to invite people. I mean, there's 2 touches on the invite and there's no sales. There's no hesitancy for me. Hey, what are you doing? You want to go to a baseball game? I mean, this was all about going to a baseball game. I like baseball. I like sitting in a stadium with a beer.
I like baseball and I like sitting in the stands with a beer, right? I knew there was a
like
reason.
Your customers?
Yeah,
exactly. And so this is a great thing for me. So, and then I had about 100, I had about 150 top people that, I got to invite. So 2 touches on the invite.
Yeah.
And I said, I want you to come. And this year, given the way the market is, I was like, they should bring people I don't know, which is the first time I've ever really pushed for them to bring me bring people to the game. I was like, look, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And it's the Mariners and it's going to cost me whatever, $20 a ticket. I don't get great seats or anything, no one really cares.
And that's the key that I want to make sure everybody knows, right? Is that nobody really cares. It's the getting together.
The box.
They're right. In the game. Somebody else bought the tickets. They don't care, right? And they can bring a friend. I love that you implemented the bring a friend strategy with your top people. I love that. I love it.
And the beauty is I sent out 150, knowing I'm not going to get 150 people saying they can come. It's a day. It's a Sunday afternoon. Some of them go to church. Some of them aren't available, but every one of them likes to be invited. So I got 2 touches on the invite, and then I got 20 of them to come to a game, or somewhere in 40 people showed up. So I knew about half of them, and and it's got 3 rows, and I'm jumping around. I'm talking to people, and we're watching the game, and we're drinking. Oh, and they all buy me beer. I don't, like there's everyone who's let me know when you're ready. So there's that. I'm there with my wife and my kids and their friends, and so it's just this big thing. And then I got I've already gotten one of their parents is now looking at houses with me. I do that every year. I do a book every year, and I've never not done business out of it. I've never not gotten a piece of business out of it. Always.
So you said the parents are looking. What price point are they going to be looking in?
Oh, like I'm going to get a referral of their house in California, and then they're looking to downsize up here, so it's around 300,000 or 400,000.
Yeah. So
on the whole game,
just 3%. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, cost me $800. Okay. Yeah. That's okay. Now, how many leads of Zillow do you get for $800? Half a lead?
I wouldn't know. I've never invested in Zillow.
I don't. Yeah. Neither have I. But I mean, people spend thousands of dollars a month on leads. $800. So I got the 2 touches before I got the game. I got all the social media posts during the game. I asked them all to post and tag me. And then I got the card. I do a send out card thing, not with send out cards, but mailbox card.
Yeah. Which
I took all the photos and I put it on the card. And everyone in my database gets that. 700 people get that.
Brilliant. All right. Hold on. You're dishing gems. And like, you got to take a breath every few minutes so I can just catch people up. Okay. Like you're just delivering the good stuff. So you take a group of the photos, you put them in a picture format using a service like a send out cards or what was the mail? What is it called?
Mailbox Power. I just had that's the
mailbox power. There's AM cards. There's several companies that do that. But great idea. Instead of just sending it to the 40. You are sending it to 700, the people in your database that are, friends.
It's the summer update. I send it every 6 weeks or so. They get a card from me. Those 700 people or whatever get a card from me. And, inside it's an update, but this one was a good time was had by all. And thank you so much. And if you couldn't make it, we'll be doing this. We'll be doing more events, and you're definitely on my list to invite, and blah, blah, blah. And if you ever want a coffee, there's always a line in there. If you ever want to sit down and get a coffee or a meal, you pick the place. It's on me. Every card has that opportunity.
Love it. That's brilliant too. I hope everybody heard that. With the offer for a coffee. Here's the thing. In your years of doing this, how many people have taken you up on that coffee?
4.
I thought it might be 0, to be honest with you. But here's the thing. Did you take them out to coffee?
Oh, I took them out to lunch.
Yeah. You even go above and beyond. So you've got this offer that's setting out there every 6 weeks, and this has been going on for years. And 4 people have actually taken you up on the offer. And if 400 did, you'd be wide open to it. You'd love to do it. But all those people are reading that offer every 6 weeks. What do they think of Aaron when they're reading this offer? They're thinking, oh my God, that is so nice. And I will tell you, the offer of a one-to-one is almost as powerful as having a one-to-one. So I want everybody to incorporate that into your emails, into what you're doing, and just offer to have coffee with anybody that take it. And it's on me. And he doesn't just buy the coffee; he buys the lunch. Aaron, that's beautiful stuff.
I'm ready to supercharge that.
Oh, wait! It gets better.
It gets better.
God, I should really sell something on this podcast. This is getting too good. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so when I take them to lunch, or the few times that this happens, right? Because it might as well. I then I obviously have my phone, and I call the restaurant first, and I ask them, can I interview the owner while I'm there? And then I do a little video about their restaurant, and I send it out to my list, and then I send it to their restaurant so the restaurant can use it on their social media. And I do a little, because I'm there anyway, and I'm like, this is my client's favorite place because they got to pick the place. So my client loves this place. I want to be able to promote you to other people.
Brilliant.
That's great content.
That's great content. And once again, adding value on top of the value you're already adding. You really wish somebody would call you every 6 weeks from that card. You really do.
I really do.
The content is so easy. And the fact that you've got the owner there and the owner is going to stop by your table and check on things like, Aaron, how are things going? And if it's the other person's favorite restaurant and the owner of that restaurant comes up to you, that is a drop the mic moment. And you kind of orchestrated it. Now, the owner may not come by, but I'm telling you, the owner's going to come by. Out of those 4, how many times did the owner come by and check?
Every time.
Every time. 4 out of 4. Yeah. I love that. All right. So let's go back to the event, right? First of all, I'm a why guy, and it's like, what's the motivation? So what inspired you to do this event for your top people? Like, what inspired you to do it in the first place?
Well, honestly, really, we can get back all the way back to the 7 levels, Mike. Really, I don't know what else to say about it, because I've been thinking that way. I've been in this business for 10 years, and year 2, I think I picked up 7 levels. So I've been really always listening for how can I connect with more people in a way that leaves them with a smile, something that's, when they think of the event, they think of me and they have good thoughts tied to it. And honestly, the first one that we did, this was the best. It was the first event that I did was, we rented, I live on an island, right? Small community, 10,000 people. And we have one single single screen movie theater. And this is now 2013, I guess, 2014.
Well, it has to be like 2013, because you actually have a black and silver copy.
Yeah.
That is like that's one of the first 25,000 copies right there. Aaron showed it to me before the interview. But I'd keep that puppy. That's a pre-published edition right there. So
there you go.
I love it.
I didn't know. Yeah. So we rented the Vashon. I'll figure it out. It was the first Seahawks. It was the Seahawks Broncos Super Bowl. Okay. And we rented the Vashon movie theater for that event. And we had people sign up on Eventbrite. So I got everyone's name, phone number, email, and address. Wow. In my community. And they got to go. The theater cost me $150, which I split with a lender.
How much?
$350 that I split with a lender.
Yeah.
$175 out of my pocket. And we filled the theater with 300 people. And I have all their names, phone numbers, and emails. To this day, they all get a card from me. Right.
I love it.
And
man, I really wish the Seahawks would have won that.
Yeah.
That would have been like the greatest event in the history of like the events I've ever talked about. I've talked about like 10,000 events in my life that like, and what the controversy at the end, people are going to remember where they were. Look at Marshawn
this
Lynch.
Is the first one. This is
okay.
We did it for both. We did it for the one they won.
Okay.
And we did it for the one they lost.
Got it. Okay. Well, the one they won had to be a lot cheerier at the end than the Marshawn Lynch not handing it to him that was the Patriots. That was the Patriots. They beat the Broncos. I'm sorry.
Yes. At any rate.
All right.
I've now enrolled in events. Now I'm like, okay, events are the way to go, because you get a lot of people and then all the touches and all the ways to do it. So what inspired me this summer was just what I said. Honestly, I like baseball. I like nothing I like better than sitting on a Sunday afternoon. And if I can do it with my clients, I have Seahawks season tickets, and I always take 2 clients with me. If I'm not taking my family, I take 2 clients with me to every game. Because
I love that.
Why not? Why not? What am I going to spend my money on? Internet leads? I never registered leads. People like, oh, I never meant to sign up. People, what is that?
Well, and you're not inviting the clients you don't like. I mean, that's the thing that
Right.
people, oh man, I'm not sure if I can invite those two. It's like, don't invite those two. Invite the clients you like, invite the people you like, and bring them into your life. And I love that. So
And
yeah,
I was just saying, and I
powerful.
like so many of my clients. I love my clients. I love them. So few that I wouldn't invite. I just don't have. I don't know. I don't have a lot of clients I wouldn't want to hang out with.
Well, I think you brought up a great point there, is that everybody says they love their clients. Everybody
Right.
says it. But
Yes.
the difference here, and this is straight out of 7L, right, is you show your clients that you love them, right? I mean, everybody says, I love referrals, and they have a sticker, and that's all they have. They have a sticker.
The highest honor.
So it's like,
you can
tell
give
me how you love your referrals. Tell me what you do. What do you do to show that you love referrals? And do you have a referral source system? Do you have an ambassador system? And you do, right? You're doing events for them. You chose 40 out of your top 150, and you had an event for them. And the one thing I really love from this is everybody thinks your events have to be big. They have to be 300, 400, 250, 150. Some of the best events are 40 people. Would you agree?
Totally. Going to the game with just two people is an event. On Sunday, I'm taking a couple to the game, and they're going to post it on social media. I'm going to post every Sunday. If you get on my personal Facebook page, you'll see another game, another great client.
Love it. So how did you attract them into your life and business in the first place? Like, how did you get these top people? Like, what did you do in the first place? Yeah.
Well, 90% of my business is referral. I know that'd be surprising, Michael. I don't know. I don't know if you know about referrals, but they're really a great source of business.
I'm a fan of the 90% referral model, definitely. Because I'm guessing the other 10% is, internet leads that come by, sign calls, open houses, and the other ways that are typical to do business that don't cost you very much, right?
That's right. Very much so. I don't turn down other lead sources. It's not like I just don't go seeking them.
Yeah.
So, and I've said it a couple of times. I do a lot of I have a large personal Facebook page following, and I maximize that. I, keep it out there with, and I follow the 80-20 rule, where it's 80% personal posts, 20% real estate posts. I post a stupid meme every day that people literally stop me in the supermarket and they go, I love your memes. Thank you. Which is wild to me.
Yeah. But they get a chance to see your personality, right? I mean, if you're in real estate, you've got to show that sense of humor. If you don't have a sense of humor in real estate, this business will eat your lunch, and you got to show it. I love that. All right. So I also want to, you made bread, making bread. And what was the secret to success of Fred's Bread and Bakery, or Bread and Bagel? I mean, I know that that's not a pre-rehearsed question or anything like that, but but I have to, there's a lot of bakeries that don't make it, Well, so you ended up creating a $1 million a year business in bread. What were the 2 or 3 secrets that you had then?
Well, I was going to authenticity and community.
Wow.
Michael, really, the way we started that business was, first of all, the bread and the bagels are authentic. There's, that for me, as a foodie, as a restaurateur, and the, recovering restaurateur, it's always, when I go into a restaurant, I always think, did whoever make this have an intention that this tastes this way? Like, I go into, Olive Garden or something, and I don't think they have a great intention that this food tastes exactly this way.
Right.
It's got to, it's the ballpark.
Yeah.
They don't, it's
quick.
Heavy. It's quick.
They're more interested in getting it out quick than they are getting it out with love, necessarily.
And so that, we used to have, Michael, it's great that you said it, that I love that, because on the bread, on the labels, in the, on the bread that we sold wholesale, the first ingredient was love.
Yeah.
On the label, because the there's a Tassajara bread book quote that says, love is not only the most important ingredient, but the only ingredient that really matters. And I always cry when I say that, because that was it. And we had a community of employees. And to this day, those employees are deep friends of mine. And we all are sort of blown away by what we created. We were really young. They were really young. I was older, but they were really young. And it was a really special, if you were in Albuquerque from 1990 to 1999, I promise you know Fred's Bread and Bagel.
I love it.
Promise you did.
I love it. I will tell you, I experienced that not too long ago. I have a friend, Alan Dom, who is in Philadelphia, and he has 20 some restaurants that he owns. He's also a real estate mogul and developer. But I went to it, and it's called Barclay Prime, and it's like, it was maybe the first time I'd really experienced in a restaurant where I knew they had made my meal with love. Is that the weirdest thing ever? I mean, but I knew it. I knew, and then it was close to my son's birthday, and I don't know how he knew it. I don't know. I mean, I didn't tell him, and yet out at the end of the dinner, he brought out a plate, happy birthday, right, in the cherry sauce, and a little piece of cake, right? And happy birthday. They didn't sing it. It's classy, right? Didn't sing it, but it was just like, oh my gosh, like how the heck did he even know that? Then that Max was just so enthralled with it all, and Alan goes, well, do you want to see the kitchen? Right. And Max is like, yeah. And so he went back there and saw the get up, and he came out with his eyes this big around, but it was made with love. And just they're the ones that have the $100 Philly cheesecake. Have you heard that story from Contagious? Sure. There's a book called Contagious, like how to make your message contagious. And they just like, we're in Philadelphia. We're home of the Philly cheesesteak. We're going to make the greatest that has ever been, and we're going to sell it for $100. And people pay $100 to have the greatest Philly cheesesteak in the world. It's brilliant marketing. And you did the same thing with Bread and Bagel, right? You made it with love, and you made it the best in Albuquerque, and people came far and near to do it. And it created a community around, a bread and bagel place. I love that. And
it ties right. I mean, it ties right into the whole thing about mindset and doing what you love, because that really is. I mean, that's how I run this business too, the current business, the real estate business. That's why I love my clients. I won't work with people. It's not like I won't work, like I don't love you, so I'm not going to work with you. And I don't, like you don't have to vote the way I vote or anything like that.
Right. And
I just wind up loving my clients because this is, this is your message. I mean, look at the little heart. And this is why I resonate with your show so much, and you, because it's all got to be about love. Otherwise, what are you doing? Why are you doing it?
Yeah, you're doing it for money, or you're doing it for, whatever it may be, doing it for desperation, doing it to whatever. And no, I'm with you. Like, I mean, love is the central theme to everything. We believe in helping businesses build their business based on the values of love, generosity, and appreciation. And people are like, well, that's 3. It's like, not really. Generosity is love in action. That's what you're going to do every day, right? You're going to be proactive with the generosity. You're going to go out and add value. And then appreciation, all that is love in reaction. When things happen to you, for you, around you, you're going to appreciate it. Whether it's good, bad, ugly, whatever it may be, you're going to appreciate it. And because it's made your life what it is. And so it's all based on love. The central theme to all this is love what you do what you love. And you're going to attract more love if you go out to the world with love. So you nailed it.
Yeah, thanks.
So, all right. So tell us the story of the 3 stonecutters.
Yeah, I mean, it ties directly into this, really, because it's a choice you make. The parable is this: like, there's a guy walking down a country road, and he sees another person there with a hammer and a chisel, beating on a piece of stone. And the guy is sweaty, and he's red-faced, and he's disheveled, and he looks like he's angry, and the traveler walks up to him and says, "Excuse me, sir, what are you doing?" And the guy snaps at him, "I'm breaking this rock. What does it look like I'm doing, you idiot? Get away from me." "Sorry, man, didn't mean to bother you. Sorry. And he keeps walking, and maybe 20, 30 yards down the road, there's another guy, chisel, hammer, stone. But this guy's, his shirt is pressed. He's got suspenders. His pants are pressed. He's moving methodically around the stone and banging on the stone. And he says, "Excuse me, can I ask you what you're doing, sir?" And he says, "Yeah, well, sure. I'm a stonemason, and this is my career. This is what I do. I, break rocks like this. I shape rocks into bricks." And he says, "Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I thank you for telling me." And he keeps walking, and 30 yards down the road, there's a third guy. And this guy is chisel, hammer, stone, exact same setup, same activity, banging. But this guy's got a light in his eyes, and he's flowing. Do you ever see anyone flow around? Like, just their movements are like art watching him. And he is clearly in a space of it's just something about it, right? You talked about recognizing when the food's made with love. That's what's happening here. And he says, "Excuse me, sir, what are you doing?" And he says, "I'm building a cathedral." Mm. And there's two pieces to this story that matter, I think, in this context. One is the activity is the same. You're breaking rocks. When you're on the phone calling people, I say how we train our team. Look, you could either be breaking rocks, phoning, or you could be building a cathedral. And there is no difference in the activity. This is not, you need another job, because it doesn't matter what you do. It's how you do it that matters.
Yeah. And
the second piece is the thing I think people mostly miss in that parable, because people talk about that parable. I didn't make that up. Is nobody builds a cathedral because they like stained glass windows. You don't build a cathedral because you like the way the building looks. You build a cathedral because you're committed to something that cathedral is built to honor. And the thing that's inspiring you isn't the building. It's the idea that the building is there to honor. And so when we're building our businesses, our cathedrals, because look, if you're breaking rocks, we're not talking, knock yourself out. You might as well go do that. Okay. But if you're building a cathedral, right, that's your business. What's it in service of? What's the idea that lights you up so much that you would be just inspired to build a cathedral to it? And when I talk to you, Michael, and I listen to you, and I read your writing, and I hear what you're providing to the world, it's love. Your thing, that your cathedral you've built, is in honor of love being the context of the day. That's just, I don't know if I'm not there to put it on you. That's what I'm left with. And I don't think people take enough time to decide what their life is for. What's their life in honor? What do they honor so much that they're willing to give their life to it? And I don't think anything matters more than that. I just don't think you can have, I think the opportunity to create that is available for everyone. And I think far few people take that opportunity to do that. And that's a lot of the work that's a lot of why I do what I do, is to give people an opportunity to create that.
Yeah, I feel like a bobblehead here. I've just been nodding my head we need to get a Michael Maher bobblehead. I need to figure out a way to do that, because just like, that's what I was looking like here. I was just nodding yes that whole time, because it's so true. And I love, the third person's in flow, and just, there's a light about them, and there's an energy about it. And it's like, I'm building a place for worship. Building a place for worship. And I think that's one of the differences that I had early in my business versus every other realtor in town, is I was building a community. You were talking earlier about the success of Fred's Bread and Bagel, and you said it was authenticity, and it was community. And that's like, so a cathedral is a place of worship for a higher power. And I believe that a community is a place for worship for the power of humanity. Like it's a place of worship for humanity. And that's what I love about like what we teach and where, like what you've done with your 700 is you've built a community. And if a realtor is not building a community, I think that there's something missing. And one of the things that's missing is an accountability to the community. When you don't have a community, when it's just client transactional, it can be relational. Sure, you're friends or whatever, but are you really friends, or are you just really friendly during contract to close? But it's like, be a friend, be a friend and be a BFF, right? Be a friend forever. And, if they're not building a community, then you are transactional. And what's the opposite of that? Well, you know what? That's the power of events. Is I'm having this event to build a place, temporary place for worship of humanity based on love. And, we're bringing our community together. That's the thing about events, and even more powerful in today's environment, because people are really looking to engage. Their social circles were destroyed in 2020. They're looking for better, different, new social circles. And we as agents have an opportunity, or we as professionals have an opportunity to create a new social circle for our community and bring the best people we know together. And I think that's the higher calling of being a professional realtor is you're a leader. You're going to lead people through the biggest financial investment of their life. So if you're going to do that, you're taking on the responsibility of a leader. So be a leader, step up and be a leader and lead them together. And your only role is to get them through the transaction and make sure it's a good transaction, and then bring them together. That's it. That's all you need to do, right? Bring them together, continue bringing them together, connectivity, and make sure when they go to purchase a home or sell a home, it becomes one of the best financial, investments they ever make. And that's it.
I love it, Michael. That's exactly right. We are entrusted with the largest, the most expensive, most impactful, most emotionally fraught, complex, least performed transactions of someone's life. And, we have I love that you said we have an obligation to that. And I think so,
well, you're living it. You're living it. So of course you agree with it. And I wish more that would be listening to this. And I think many of them that are struggling in the current environment with have a transactional, almost desperation type of aspect to their business. And it's, I hope this is a wake up call to them, that it's like, all right, I'm not going to worry necessarily about transactions. I'm going to go straight to relational and transformational. I'm going to get people together. That's it. No matter what happens to my real estate career, I'm going to create a community of great people I like. And I'm just going to build on it over time and see what happens. Here's what's going to happen. Whatever business you're in is going to explode. Whatever business you're in, you're going to be successful at it because you have a community who will support your business. And that's, that's the truth. That's what we've seen played out so many times.
And going into it, I mean, just speaking at it from a real estate context, right, is going into those conversations, when I call a FSBO or I call an expired or I meet someone at an open house, I'm either calling because I'm authentically concerned for their transaction and for what they're building and what their cathedrals are and what they're inspired to and who they are, because that's my mission in life. Or I'm trying to get the deal.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you could taste the food made with love, you can't hide it. If you're being transactional, they're going to hear it.
That's right.
And, you got to, which is why I think determining what it is that your life is for, matters so much, because then your whole orientation can be towards that. And whatever field you're in,
yep,
doesn't matter. You're just fulfilling what you're really up to as a human being,
Yeah, I haven't called very many for sale by owners or expireds in my career. I haven't had to. My very first housewarming party, I got 11 referrals. So I was busy very quickly with my very first client. And I have called 10 for sale by owners or expired. And I will tell you, I was saddened. Like, I was calling because I was sad for them. Like, you're telling me that in a city full of real estate agents, you don't have anybody you can trust. You don't have anybody that you can count on to take care of you, to make sure you're not getting swindled, to make sure you're maximizing what you can get out of that house. That's sad. That's why I would call is if it's a person that's in my neighborhood, or it's a person that is a friend of a friend. That's who I'm calling. And then I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want to be the person this person can trust and rely on and give them help. And like, it's sad to me that there are people, and there are people in every city like that, that don't know someone in the real estate world who is going to maximize their investment. And that's, I mean, but it happens, but it's out there. That's why they're for sale by owners. That's why there's expired. That's why people, that make bad investments, they didn't have somebody to guide them. And that's what I found early on. And Aaron, you've really like inspired and kind of triggered something inside of me that reminded me of, my first year in the business. Is I was a teacher beforehand. And as a teacher, you have this intrinsic motivation, and you're doing it to add value, to help the kids, it's all about the kids. And you feel like there's this higher calling to teach. And, they call it the heart of the teacher. Right. And when I went into real estate, I was looking for a summer job. And honestly, I was just looking, all right, I'll do this for the extrinsic motivation, which is the money. That's what I went into it for, is I want to learn how to invest in real estate, and I want to make money during the summer. Well, what got me, and it sounds like this is what you're driven by as well, is there's a lot of intrinsic motivation that comes with being a realtor that people can trust. There's this, oh my gosh, you know what? I am really needed in this industry to educate people. Oh, there's that teacher again, to really educate them and explain to them what is going on here, and what, here's all the things so that they can make a really wise decision. And that's that's when I caught fire. I didn't catch fire because I made, $8,000 or $10,000. I've never been money motivated. I caught fire when it was like, nobody's doing housewarming parties. Why? Like, they're not celebrating this new home. I was just astounded when people told me, I've never heard of a realtor doing house. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Is there anything that makes more sense than celebrating a home, taking part of my commission and celebrating with a person? I'm just like, how did they function? Like, I can't even believe they didn't do that. So anyway, all right.
That's great.
We got to, so, and I have to be honest with you, I don't know a lot about this, and I want to know more about it. So what are you doing with the realtorsedge.com? So you've got the Realtor's Edge, and I want to hear more about this. And by the way, everybody here, you can go check out the Realtor's Edge, and Realtors is with an S. The Realtors, and Realtor is REALTOR, just so everybody knows. The realtorsedge.com. And so what's going on with that? How does that relate to kind of what we're talking about today?
Well, because just, all right, so we've been talking, everything we've talked about is client facing love. Yeah.
Yes.
Like that world of love. But if I turn my attention to the agents on my team, which is how this got started, again, if I applied the same principles of real, and you didn't say these three words, Michael, but these are my sort of mnemonic for what I provide: educate, advocate, negotiate, right? Like that's the three things that you were just talking about, set as a mnemonic that I love. But how am I going to provide something for them? Because frankly, there's so much nonsense thrown our way as realtors. I can't open my email without 16 offers for the next regen system that's going to put $350K in my pipeline with no cold calling for $395 a month. is there anything more spammy
Mm.
than our you know, if you want to make $1 million, find something to sell to a real estate agent. And so I was just, how are we going to train our team? How are we going to get our team some love and some clarity? So I made this app for our team. It was a training app for our team, which includes, you know, a couple of FSBO scripts from great coaches, Brendan Morenin and Tom Ferry and all, right? There's expired circle prospecting, referral work, and then there's a podcast library and all sorts of just free resources. It's either on an app, you can get it at the Play stores, or you can get it online. And if you just go to the realtorsedge.com, you'll get all the options. And the idea is stop searching for the next shiny object. You don't need, you know how many FSBO scripts there are? There's 1 million and they're all the same. So you don't need to get the right FSBO script.
Right.
Do this one. This works. Everything works, right? If you use it. I have a ChatGPT lesson. So anyway, stuff that I've developed or stuff that I've curated that keeps people keeps the agents trained with useful material without having to spend hours on the interwebs searching, because you get searching for how to do FSBOs and you'll never get on the phone.
Right.
You know, and what podcast should I listen to? Here's the, you know, a list. Obviously this is in there, you know, like listen to these guys while you're driving, listen to this while you're doing it, hear different voices, but you don't need to spend time on your own trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's what the realtorsedge.com is for. So you don't have to figure it out. This stuff all works. If it's in there, it works.
Yeah.
And it's free. The whole thing's free. That's all free, all value, nothing more than just a resource for people.
Yeah, it's a curated resource, right? Like better than a library. You've just taken the best books and put them at the front of the library and said, all right, you don't need to read 2,500 books. You can read these 10 and you're probably going to be pretty good, right?
Right. And then it's got pure proprietary stuff that I personally made, but curated and proprietary. But if it's in there, you're exactly right. It's the best of the best. It works. I'm not putting it in there unless like the Miracle Morning is in there, you know, like,
yeah.
We do a lot of mindset stuff. I do mindfulness meditations with my team. We do all sorts of woo-woo stuff, tapping. And so we have a lot of different avenues. But again, if it's in there, it's because it works. You don't have to go searching.
Love to. Love it. Love it. Very cool. What a great resource. I hope everybody that's listening checks that out at therealtorsedge.com. And honestly, even if you're not a realtor, you should check that out. If you're in the real estate industry, lender, title, warranty rep, you should definitely check that out. So love it. And honestly, a lot of these title companies, warranty reps, lenders are looking to add value to realtors. Go to the Realtor's Edge, check it out, and grab one piece and then deliver it to your realtors. Just one aspect of it. That's brilliant.
Or just share the link with them, you know, and say, hey, I found this resource. That's a touch. Look, the only thing we're ever looking for is some reason to call our people. That's all I need is an excuse.
Exactly.
Otherwise, what I got, hey, I'm calling to just check in. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know?
Unless there's a catastrophe, right? I mean,
then it's exactly right.
Like Josh Frazee did 1,000 check-in calls during the 2020 thing and had the greatest year of his career. He offered in 1,000 calls to go and get toilet paper or bottled water or anything they needed. He had 0 people take him up on it and did over 100 transactions. You know, so it's you know, the catastrophe call, check-in call is really, really good. But here's the thing that I love about the second half of that is all we're looking for is a reason to call. And that kind of ties a bow around this, because I truly believe the best reason to call is to invite them to an event. You know, it's just invite them, and not everybody's going to take you up on it. And there's a great commercial by, I don't even remember who the commercial was for, but part of it was, we all want to be invited so that we can not attend. We all want to be invited so we can not attend. Well, the key part of that is we all want to be invited. We all want to be invited, you know, and a lot of people are not going to attend, but they love to be invited. And that also reflects back to your open invitation for coffee. every 6 weeks on, the card that they get in the mail.
Yeah.
They all want to be invited. They know they're invited. They don't want to attend. Not every person is going to attend. You know who's going to attend? People who are social. You know what people who are social are really good at? Recommending and referring you. It's a filter, people. The event's just a filter to filter out the 700 to find the 40 who are most likely to refer you. That's what an event is really all about. I hate to disclose it. I'm disclosing the secret of all of my stuff in a few minutes, but it's like, that's the secret. It's a filter to figure out who's going to refer you and spread the word. That's it.
It's good. I laugh because I don't like people. I don't like going out. I'd be one of those people that never went. I would never go to a real estate party. I would never go to a Christmas party. I would be like, oh my God, if my real estate agent wants me to go to their party, forget it. My real estate agent wants to buy me a ticket to a baseball game. I will go to that all day.
There you go.
So, it's all about what but I'm now realizing, Michael, that this podcast has now motivated me to see something that's missing in the app, which is an entire section on referral mastery and getting that written up and how to get that going with all links to your resources and your courses, and get those links in there so that people can go back to Gen and doing that, because that's good. I don't know. I just never got around to it. So
yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So somebody's thinking about doing an event for their top people. What words of wisdom would you have for them? What would you tell them to do? What are some things that they might want to avoid doing, or what's something they have to make sure that would actually be an added benefit?
Well, I think the principle that my wife and I used when we made our invitations to our wedding is the key, which is I can imagine regretting not inviting someone. I can hardly imagine inviting them. Like, where's the regret? Like, if I'm going to regret something, I'm going to regret not inviting them. I'm never going to regret inviting them. So
when in doubt, invite them.
Totally. I mean, they're not coming anyway.
Yeah.
They're so unlikely to come. What's the big deal? Right? I didn't pick my top 40, by the way. I sent 150 invites. They picked the 20. The 20 rose to the top, and they brought 20 more people. So
what's cool about that, though, is you don't have 150 top people anymore. Now you have 170.
Exactly.
Because you added 20 more with the bring a friend strategy.
Totally. So let them sort themselves out. So I think that's the number one thing. And then, don't worry about there is hardly a way you can do this as cheap. You could do it as free. I mean, look, split it with a lender, rent a movie theater. We've done this, not with the Super Bowl. We had rented a movie theater and we showed The Incredibles 2. Okay. Who comes to The Incredibles 2?
Kids.
Kids?
Yeah.
Right. They're not coming alone. They're coming with their parents.
That's
parents with young kids. Okay. There's a market, and they all register on Eventbrite. So you get all their information for free. And then you get to show the reels in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. Make a little video, and it's of your team, and you get to show all that. Split that with a lender. I mean, if that costs you $200, I don't even know what to tell you. And you get 300 people for $200 that love you, know you, like you, stand up in front, say thank you. Do it. The most important thing is, don't think about this. Don't overthink this. This is the simplest thing in the world to do. Create a party.
Take action. Take action and invite people together. And, the other part of this too is we have people that have 8, 9, and 10 sponsors for every event, and they're making money. They're making money having the event, and then they're making money on the leads and the referrals that are generated through the event. So and by the way, don't feel bad about that. Do it. I think you're having an event of your people, and you're endorsing these sponsors, partners to your people. There isn't a more powerful, advertisement than that.
Yep.
So it's celebrity endorsement on a local scale. That's really what it becomes.
Very much so.
So how about mindset? One last thing before we go on like what's your words of wisdom or advice you would give, especially to real estate agents right now who may be struggling with just everything that's going on right now?
Yeah.
A sluggish market, the lawsuits that are hanging out there, the uncertainty that's hanging out there. What's your advice for them?
Well, I think it's the most important thing is for you to stay focused on what your life is for. Because look, honestly, in a market like this, not everyone's going to make it.
Yeah.
Right. Not every real estate agent's going to continue in this business, but that's, I was a baker and then I did other things and then I'm a real estate agent, and who knows, there's eras, chapters in life coming. You as a human being, you weren't born a real estate agent. That's your pathway for now. So I don't mean to chase you out of the business. I'm just saying, if your focus was on fulfilling what your life was for, right? Like you point to, Michael, if I build a community, right? It doesn't matter this is what I'm doing now to support my community, which is making sure they navigate the most expensive, least performed transaction of their life. But does it really matter that that's the action that I take? If there's some other action that shows up for me as more appropriate next, I'll do that.
There you go.
So just don't get the fear-based. What if I don't make it? Really? Is this the first thing in your life that's not going to work out for the best? Is this the first thing that if it failed, you would be like, you're going to evaporate? You'll find something next because your focus is on fulfilling on what really matters to you as a human being. I think and your real estate business, it can't do any, which is more likely to do worse, right? If I'm scared or if I'm really focused on what I love.
Right. Like focus on your activity, right? Yeah.
That's right. Your business is going to grow. And, where our game sort of is, you got to stick around long enough to be in it when it turns. Right. Yeah. And if you're building a business you love, when it turns, you're there to suck up that market share.
That's right.
And that's really what we're about. Keep your eyes on the prize, which is what your life is for. Love it.
Wow. What a podcast. This is going to be one that people play over and over and over again. And
I hope so.
It is. It's just tons of gems in here and brilliance and, just the beauty. I mean, even the things that you drop into the conversation, like the educate, advocate, and negotiate, as a central theme to what value you're providing to the real estate world, and all of the great stuff around the event and the bring a friend strategy that so many people forget to implement, and they should make a part of their top YAP events for sure. And just your numbers, right? Your 700, your 150. You knew exactly what each of the events were going to cost you. You knew what the sponsor was going to provide, and just the Realtor's Edge is something that everybody needs to check out. I don't care if they're in the real estate industry, they need to go to the realtorsedge.com, check out all the information in there. And it sounds like there's going to be a new wing built on the cathedral at Realtor's Edge, and it's going to be the referral wing. And just love all that. And Aaron, I love you. I really appreciate your coming on and sharing your wisdom with our listeners and viewers today on the Referrals podcast. So thank you so much for coming.
Michael, I say this in all honesty, and I don't say that I'm on a lot of podcasts, but I don't say this to everybody because it's not true, but you made me. I have one of those original 7 levels, and that I built my business on that. I built my cathedral on that, and my cathedral is built to empower people, and my family thanks you, and I thank you. And I think it's just this is a full circle moment for me.
Wow. So, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I think the number one lesson that I got here today, listeners and viewers, is, the power of one letter. And there's so many things that we do in this business and we do in business that we say, I got to do this. I got to make these calls. But what if we change that to I get to make these phone calls. I am appreciative of being able to rally my community together. One letter, change your O to an E, and you get to do it versus got to do it. And that's what the stonecutters parable is really all about. One of them's got to do it. The other one's getting paid to do it. And then the other one is they get to do it. And it's a passion and it's a love, and they see the bigger picture. So that's what we need to do with our business, is see the bigger picture. What are we building? And I love today's examples. I love today's story. I love the parable. I love the guest. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. And I will tell you that you're really going to love the next one too. Just so you know, I know the next one because I know what's in the hopper. But make sure you check out that one. But on this one, this might be one that you share. You rate it, review it. If you do review it, make sure you put your contact information in there so that I know who reviewed it instead of seeing a username that I can't figure out. The other thing too is when you review the podcast, you might get referrals because we generate referrals. We talk about referrals. So who are listening to this? People who want referrals and give referrals. So make sure your contact information's in there. And last but not least, hey, check out November.com. Check out what we're doing at Referral Mastery Academy. We'd love to have you. And of course, remember that you're always invited to join the generosity generation by joining us at joingengen.com. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time on Referrals Podcast.